remember, if you want your question to be answered, you can go to patreon.com/GameOverJesse and leave them in the comments or messages. Yeah, and you can have your question priority. It'll be the first to be answered, or you can leave them in the comments below and we will try to get to them as many as possible. We had a bit of a mix-up with the past couple of weeks of the podcast because I was on a roller coaster for about 2 weeks.
So went to the moon.
Exactly. As Daniel mentioned when the podcast first started, I was on the moon. Now I'm sick. I got the space flu. So
space flu, it's real.
Yes, forgive my sneezing and coughing. All right, so the next question comes. Daniel.
Yes. Oh, it's me. Yeah. So the next question.
No, you didn't.
Sorry.
You didn't copy the person's name who asked.
I didn't. What's up? I can't hear you.
You didn't copy the person's name on the question.
Oh no, I didn't. Oh my goodness. You're right.
Yeah, I was about to be like, the next question comes from.
It comes from Hyrule Gamer.
Oh,
Fact.
I know him.
On our Discord. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Hyrule Gamer asks King Bergerson, Game Over Jesse. I like how did they all just like tag you first?
Yeah.
Was that
I just told them to tag. I don't know. I just said, hey, tag both me and Jesse. So I guess they did. Alright,
so this question, Hyrule Gamer asks, what sort of third-party titles would you love to see on the Switch? Fallout 3, New Vegas, or 4 as an example? Overwatch, perfect game for the Switch. It can run on the Switch. You can have a very, very, very low-end PC. You can even have a PC that doesn't have a dedicated GPU. You could just play on the integrated graphics that comes with like a 3 or 4 year old i5.
Yeah.
And it will be good enough to run Overwatch. It will be good enough to run League of Legends, all of these other games. You're not going to be running at like 1080p, 60 frames per second on high settings. But the Switch is more than capable of running Overwatch at 720p on low to mid settings at 30 to 60 frames per second.
Absolutely. And Overwatch would be a huge thing for the Switch. Like that would be, the Overwatch community is like very strong, and yeah, that would be a huge deal.
Yep, that's one of our friends, Sasizi, who sometimes appears on the channel. She is all the time playing Twitch, or on her Twitch and YouTube channel. She's playing Overwatch, and it's a huge game. They have like it's already on all of the other consoles. There is no reason at all that it should not be on the Nintendo Switch. Like it's not a demanding game at all. It's more than capable of running on the system. There is literally no excuse.
Yeah.
So like if they can get Doom or something that's designed for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, if they can get games like that to run on the Switch, there's no reason that like a low-spec version of Overwatch wouldn't be able to run. And then another game that I would like to see is well, while I'm thinking of this, what would you like to see, Daniel?
Well, we're already getting Rocket League, so that is a game that I love, and I almost bought a PS4 specifically for Rocket League, and then they announced it for Switch, so I was like, yes, I'm too broke to afford a PS4, so so that's great. You know what? I know that the Wii U had some of it. I think they had one. I'd want to see some really big franchises. So something like Assassin's Creed. I want to see make the jump over to Switch, because I know there was I think Black Flag was released for Wii U, but I never bought it because I already had it
Assassin's
on 360.
Creed 3 was on Wii U.
I think Black Flag was as well.
It may have been.
I think but like Origins looks really good. Hopefully, it's not super buggy or anything, but like I would love to see that come over. Just make the hop over to Switch, because the Switch is a capable console. It could run it, even if it just runs it at 720 and 30 frames.
Yeah, like if there is a game that runs at a very smooth 1080p 60 frames on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, there's no reason that same game wouldn't be able to run at 720p at 30 frames per second. Because if you cut a game down from 1080p to 720p, you're halving the resolution. And then if you cut it down from 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second, you're halving the frame rate.
The only thing is, like, it needs to be consistent.
Yeah, theoretically, if you take 1080p 60 frames per second to 720p 30 frames per second, that's, again, theoretically, because GPUs and CPUs don't necessarily work this way. Theoretically, you're playing a game at 25% of the performance that it would be running on the PlayStation 4. And
there's no reason you can't do that.
Yeah.
The Switch is capable.
And then on top of that, where the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One runs at medium to high settings, the Switch would be running at like medium to low settings. So,
otherwise, I think some of the examples you gave, like Fallout 3 would be a really cool one. I never really got into New Vegas. Not really my thing. But like, we're already getting Skyrim. So like, Bethesda clearly has support for the Switch.
I think Fallout 4
since like Skyrim's their big thing.
Fallout is already 4 in work.
For Switch?
I would say so. Like, if they Bethesda already brought Skyrim, Doom I believe is already out. Doom, just like Fallout 4, is designed from the ground up for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation. So if Doom runs on it, I don't see why Fallout 4 wouldn't be able to.
I'd love to see Fallout. Yeah. So that's,
and then what is it?
The more third parties the better. Even if it's not a game I would necessarily want, just for the sake of having that third party support on the Switch, I'm all for.
Yeah, and there's a third party indie game that I believe you and Rick sent me to check out about having the game featured on the channel. The Untold Legacy.
Yeah, it must have been Rick.
Okay, because he messaged me and said, "Hey dude, I just got contacted by an indie dev interested in me showcasing his game on my channel. It's a 2D Zelda styled game and it actually looks pretty cool."
You know what, that is Rick, because he sent me the same message.
Alright, yeah. He said this game is still in development and he has a Kickstarter going. So usually I get messages and emails from indie developers all the time. And usually I just give the codes out, because I'm not interested in playing games on Steam and stuff. But I seen this game, and there is a Switch logo on it. But I went to the Kickstarter and tried to find it, and I couldn't find a Nintendo Switch version. But the game looks really great. I don't know if you've checked it out or not, but it looks really great.
I have not had the opportunity, but I will after this.
Yeah, like, it looks really good. It'll be the best 2D Zelda game on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
If it does come out on the Nintendo Switch. But that is a game that I would love to see. And I would love to see other third-party games like that come out as well.
I think, I was thinking about this a while back, and I think it was announced. I think Oceanhorn, again, is like almost very Zelda-inspired.
Yes.
Very much Wind Waker-inspired game. I wanted to see that come to Switch, and I think it was announced, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it may already be out.
Or it might be out? Oh,
yeah.
Well, damn.
Like, there's a lot of games that take clear inspiration from Zelda games, but Oceanhorn is one that just blatantly rips off. Like, if Yooka-Laylee rips off Banjo-Kazooie, then Oceanhorn rips off Wind Waker.
But at least with Banjo-Kazooie, it's the same, like, developers. Not the same company, but, like, the people, it's the same group of people. Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, that's fine. But, like, with Oceanhorn, it's, like, it's a little, maybe a little more than just inspiration. There was another one that was, like, 8-bit Heroes? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So, yeah, is that one, that one's a very Zelda-heavy...
I never checked it out. But I've seen it on a bunch of like Zelda games lists.
Yeah, I've never played it either, but I'm just googling to make sure I'm talking about the right game because that would be embarrassing. 8-bit hero? No, that's. Okay, I don't know. I don't think I'm on the. I don't think that's the name of the game.
Ah, that's fine. We can move on to our last question though.
Yeah, sounds good.
From Space Tree. Space
Again,
Tree
on Discord.
Yes, on Discord asks, are we getting too many Switch games all at once? Should they have been spread out? Or is it alright? I feel
that's a good question.
That Nintendo's been doing a great job. Like if you look at the Wii U. Okay, so here's the thing. The Wii U didn't have a very steady launch of first party games. They were like few and far between. PlayStation 4, I believe this year, didn't really have any big first party games. They were relying heavily on third party support. Like God of War and a bunch of the first party Spider-Man game they're working on and a bunch of other games are all slated for like 2018 or past that. They've been relying on like Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and all of these other third party games that are being pushed on PlayStation 4. So they've been fine. But they've been able to build up like their first in console sales for this generation, so they didn't really have to worry about like not having games. Nintendo, they moved all of their Wii U development to the Switch, and they're in the process of moving, or I assume moving, their 3DS development over to the Switch. Like the next 2D Mario game or 2D Zelda game, because again, for those that don't know, Zelda and Mario both have two separate teams that work on the games. There's the team that works on 2D Mario games, and there's the team that works on the home console Mario games. There's the team that works on the handheld Zelda game, and there's the team that works on the handheld or the home console Zelda games. So like Breath of the Wild is a different team than A Link Between Worlds. Super Mario Odyssey is a different team than Super Mario 3D Land or New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS. So now, instead of having the home console teams and the handheld teams, they still have those separate teams, but they're both kind of working on one platform as opposed to the two separate. So what we're seeing now is the games that are slated to be released on the 3DS are still coming out, like the new Metroid game that we just got. But we're also getting a lot of those. Yeah, we're also getting those 3DS teams working on games for the Switch. So, and then all of the games that were planned for the Wii U are being pushed to the Switch. So that's why we're seeing this huge lineup of all of these games. We got Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, ARMS, and next year we're going to have the next big Pokemon game. We're going to have possibly Smash Brothers. We're possibly going to have Metroid. Whatever else is unannounced, we still have Xenoblade to come for this year. And I think it's just Nintendo seeing that, you know, they messed up with not having that many first-party games on the Wii U. Whenever they did come, they were great. Splatoon, the original Splatoon did really well. Mario Kart 8 did really well. Smash Brothers did really well. The Zelda remakes did really well. So they had all of these games that sold really, really well. It was just the console itself didn't sell well, and those games were very, very separated. You'd be waiting 3 or 4 months for a new game.
Yeah.
And I think it's just Nintendo learned their lesson.
Yeah, and like it's good to have a strong launch because then there are games that people want, and that's what drives the console. Like for me, first of all, the Wii U. This goes back to what we were talking about in the news thing about the Wii U's mistakes, them learning from it. The Wii U, they did not advertise it for one thing. So when I finally learned that the Wii U existed, which was after its launch, I was like, what games are for it? There's nothing. There's like New Super Mario Bros. Again, and I don't know, Nintendo Land, which is fun, but it didn't look very fun. Like, from just looking at the cover, I was like, okay, sure. But then, like, I didn't get my Wii U until 2015. That's like way after its release. And then I was like, okay, well, now there's some games. Like, I got it. Okay, now Smash and Mario Kart were the 2 games that I got. I got 4 games when it came out. I got Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Nintendo Land, and Super Mario 3D World. And that was like pretty much all there was to play on the Wii U at the time. Later, I would end up getting like Pikmin, and I would get Star Fox and a bunch of other games. But then, like, this was like way after the release, and there were hardly any games, and it was like 3 years later. So, like, for the Switch now, I actually haven't been able to keep up with all the Switch games, like, because I also have a day job, and then I have working on videos, and then trying to have leisure time to play 3DS and Switch games is hard. So this is a great problem to have, though, because, like, I have more Switch games than I have time to play. But, like, it's exciting because once I'm done with one game, I'm, like, looking forward to the next thing to play. And it's, like, really, like, not everybody that buys a Switch is gonna buy it to play Fire Emblem or Mario and Rabbids. So if you have lots of games in this huge catalog, you've got the options for more than one demographic. So... yeah. My concern is what's going to come out in the following couple of years, because I know next year they have a good lineup planned out. There's going to be like Yoshi and Kirby, and Yoshi I'm really looking forward to because I love Yoshi, and maybe Smash and who knows what else. But I know that they do have like a launch lineup, or not a launch lineup, sorry, a lineup of games to release that year. But it does make me worry, like, what's next after that next year.
Yeah.
Are they going to still be able to keep pumping these games out? Because, like, the games they've been pumping out now have all been, like, bangers, like, totally awesome games. But, you know, like, is that momentum going to carry? So for right now, it's good, but I do worry about, like, in 2 years, what's going to happen.
Well, see, this goes to what I was saying with, like, right now when you're thinking of these big games coming to the Switch, typically people think of, like, the home console games.
Yeah.
But... the handheld side of it, like, you have the team that worked on Animal Crossing New Leaf, you have the team that worked on, like, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, you have the teams that worked on all of these 3DS games that, like, I believe Pokemon's going to be the last big game on the 3DS, and then after that, all of the development's going to be moved over to the Switch. So even if these huge $60 titles that, well, we generally think of as $60, even though like, they're not going to come out. Like, Breath of the Wild has released. That's the big Zelda game. The DLC is coming out later this year. And then it'll be nothing for, like, 3 or 4 years from that team before we see a new trailer or whatever they're working on next. But in that time, we have the 2D Zelda game team.
Which is great, because I love those games. Like, A Link Between Worlds was, like, one of my favorite games until... yeah. Well, it still is, actually. I really love that game, because I really loved A Link to the Past, so it makes sense.
So we're going to be seeing, like, the 2D Mario team working on a game. We're going to see the 2D Zelda game team working on a game that's going to be coming out. And not only that, but there are still a lot of great games that could be remade or ported, like Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask 3D versions being on it. 2018, next year's the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time, like I've said a bajillion times. So it would make perfect sense to do like a 20th anniversary edition of Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and then there's always Smash Brothers. There's like Metroid's coming out. We could see another Star Fox game. We could see another brand new IP. We still don't know what Retro Studios is working on.
Yeah, I want to see another Donkey Kong Country, because
you know,
they had one for the Wii and then the Wii U, and then there's been silence, right? So
But I think a Donkey Kong Country would be 2019, like, because I think 2D Mario games, the Yoshi games, and Donkey Kong Country all sort of play very similar, because they're both like start on this side of the level, get to this side. How you get there 2D is different, but I don't see Nintendo releasing two huge 2D platformers in the same year. So I think like 2018 would be the 2D Yoshi year, and then 2019 the big 2D platformer would be Donkey Kong.
I think Kirby is 2018 as well, but I'm not totally sure on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like when the games are running slim and it's going to be like 3 or 4 months before a big game comes out, Nintendo could always use that time to be like, hey, here's Virtual Console. Yep. Here's hundreds and hundreds of games that you wanted.
Yeah, so like give us some Virtual Console. Like I like for me, Virtual Console's not like a huge thing, like because I already own different versions of these games. Like I don't need another version of Ocarina of Time. Yeah. You know, like I don't need to buy that game again. And I've said that like I would love to have that sort of my Nintendo account link up to everything, so that if say I bought Super Metroid on my Wii, and then I bought it again on my Wii U, right? I don't want to buy it on my 3DS or my Switch again, because I've already bought this game, and I bought it on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, for example. So if those accounts could link up, and then you could just re-download a game onto your new console.
See, PlayStation super did this.
Cool. Yeah, other consoles do it. That's the thing. This is like, why not Nintendo? You have the biggest back catalog of games in gaming history, so like, why not have this?
Yeah, and
but like for me, like I don't see like people buying a new Nintendo console. I don't see anyone going out to buy the Switch being like, I gotta get me a Switch so I can play Super Mario Bros. 3 again. You know, just like that's not the system seller.
I don't see people buying it for that, but I can see it being like an extra push.
Yeah, it's something that you want, I think, but it's not like totally not the priority. And I think them prioritizing getting really good new Switch games first is a good move, in my opinion.
What I think would really sell well, and I've talked about this before, it would kind of help the Classic Edition.
Oh, the stuff. Cartridges?
Yes, if they had like the NES Mini collection and then the SNES collection, to where it was just those 30 games or those 20 games on a cartridge, and Nintendo's like, hey, we know consoles have been in short supply, people have had trouble getting these games that they love and want to play. We're sorry about that, but as a solution, here are all of those same games on a single cartridge or available to download from the eShop on your Nintendo Switch. You can have that exact same experience, but on the same console that we're going to have. And then, since people are so willing to rush out, stand in line for hours and hours for those classic consoles, what if they released it as a bundle? Like if they released the NES collection and then the SNES collection in a bundle together with the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, so you have your like classic bundle.
Yeah, so then like it would come with the 2 cartridges, or it would come with all the games pre-installed. And then suddenly you're getting your Nintendo Switch, but you're also getting your Nintendo Switch with like 50 games.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Yeah. So that would be my solution for like Space Tree's asking, or is it too many games coming out at once? Does it need to be spread out more? Well, we already seen what happens if it is spread out
if it's
a bit too thin.
Like maybe that was a little too in the extreme of like too spread out. But
yeah, but like who doesn't like more games? Like to me, so far, like honestly, the only game that I could have went without playing was ARMS.
Yeah.
Like
I like ARMS though. Like I have it, but like I own Mario and Rabbids and haven't played the game yet because I've been busy with other Switch games, right? And I really want to go and play more Splatoon too, but like Mario Odyssey keeps pulling me away, right? Yeah. So
and like ARMS was really great. Or not ARMS, sorry, not ARMS. Snipper Clips.
Yes.
Snipper Clips
which I also
was
have.
Like a really great small $10-20 game. I would love to see Nintendo come out with other mini games like
Snipper
that.
Clips 2 is coming out though.
Yeah, like cut it out together or something like that.
Yeah, which is great. Like if we had those gaps, like you're saying, as well as filling it with virtual console stuff, if they just have those mini little, like those smaller size games, then that would also fill that time. And plus, if you have these huge gaps in releases, right? Because they've already released like so many great games, you have a back catalog to fall back on.
Yeah.
So if someone is next year, say there's 3 months or 4 months where there's no Switch games released, if anyone is just buying a Switch at that point, they're gonna have a huge catalog of games to start with. They're gonna have like Zelda and Mario and maybe whatever else is really like ARM, Splatoon, and then maybe if Metroid's out or if Yoshi's out or Kirby or any of these games are out by that point, there's already this huge catalog. So if you get your games out early enough, then there's options, and then there's a back catalog to fall back on if you have to space out your releases after that.
And you don't have to buy every single game.
No, you don't have to. I will, but that's me. You don't have to.
Right. You can, like, if you are content with Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, there's no need to buy the Switch version.
Yeah.
Like it.
Actually, that's actually I didn't buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because I have it on my Wii U.
Yeah.
And I have all the DLC, and I was like, well, I know they added stuff, but like, I don't play Mario Kart that often.
Yeah. And then with Splatoon 2, if you played the original, and you, like, if you never went back to keep playing it, then obviously you don't need to buy Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Like, I would say the big games that are must-buys are Mario, Zelda, and then if you're just a huge Mario fan, I would say either Mario Kart or Mario and Rabbids. But I would lean on Mario Kart more because that's more of a multiplayer game, so you could just pick it up and play with friends as opposed to just the single player story of Mario and Rabbids. But since Mario Odyssey came out, like, I haven't gone back to Mario and Rabbids. That's
all I've been playing since I got Mario Odyssey. It's just like, that's just it. That's all I've been playing. And I keep thinking, man, I should really work on that Fire Emblem video that I keep saying I'm making. But yeah, it's too good.
Yeah. So I think that brings us to the end of our mailbag. I think so. I don't see any other questions anyone's left. So
I'm gonna double check our Discord server, but I think that's
Space Tree was the last one. So remember, everybody, if you have questions that you would like to have answered, comment them below, or if you would like a guarantee for them to be answered, patreon.com/GameOverJesse. We're donating just $1 for the month. We'll get your question answered, or $10, $15, $20, and you could even be on the show with us as a special guest,
which would be so awesome. And you can join our Discord server where you can just chat with us. I mean, we're unless Jesse's back on the moon, we're all reachable there. So
yes. And if people wanted to find more from you, Daniel, where could they go?
Well, I mentioned last time, but I've been working on my website, which is burgersonmedia.com. So go check that out. Otherwise, I have a channel called NSHG Films on YouTube. Or you can follow me on Twitter at CaptBurgerson.
I believe a video recently uploaded on the YouTube channel as well.
It did. That's actually a project, it's the first video release. It's been a while since I put up any videos on that channel. This time, one of my brothers who technically co-owns the channel with me, he finally started making some projects. So he's been doing, if anyone's a Doctor Who fan, he's been reviewing some Doctor Who, really old Doctor Who episodes. But you should also check out a playlist called One Up You, which are my babies. But there's other videos. There's lots of videos on there to check out. So I also did a little bit of work. I do some work on Nintendo Prime's channel. I haven't put anything up there recently, but I actually am working on a video for that channel as well. So check out Nintendo Prime as well. And I think there's other stuff, but that's the gist of it. But definitely go check out my website, please. That's burgersonmedia.com.
All right. And your Twitter.
Yes, my Twitter is at @CaptBurgerson. It's probably on this, if you're watching the video version of this, it's on here, but otherwise, at @CaptBurgerson. And if you follow Jesse on Twitter, he mentions me a lot. So
yes.
You can find me probably somewhere there.
My Twitter, Facebook, everything is GameOverJesse. So Facebook.com/GameOverJesse, Twitter.com/GameOverJesse, YouTube.com/GameOverJesse. I got really lucky whenever I decided to steal Game Over Greggy's username.
There you go.
Yeah, which
it works.
I am hoping to have on the channel once again. So maybe in the next month or two he'll be joining us. And as always,
there's one more thing. Yeah? Happy 10th anniversary Super Mario Galaxy.
Ooh,
that just came up on my feed.
Happy 10th anniversary to Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, wow, now I feel old.
Yeah. Gosh.
Damn.
And if any of you have any guests that you would like to see on the show, please comment, let us know. We're hoping, as previously mentioned, we're hoping to have Greg Miller of IGN, now Kind of Funny, on the show in the coming months.
We'll have a few people. There's also some Zelda Informer people that are interested. And
people from Zelda Informer, Yuri of Wind or Andrew from the YouTube channel Yuri of Wind, Holly Wolf, and a few
What
other...
do we got to do to get the, she says, the boundary break guy on? What do we got to do?
Text him.
Text him. Maybe I should message him at some point. You can't message him on Twitter. He's got that blocked. Or I can't message him on Twitter. But I've tweeted at him a few times and he always replies.
Before his YouTube channel blew up, he was on my channel like at least 7 or 8 different times.
Yeah. Now, I've been following him for a while. I was one of his first 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So I feel pretty proud of that. But I found him through, because I used to work there, I found him through Zelda Informer. Because I think Zelda Informer promoted him at one point when he did a Wind Waker episode.
Yeah. See, what I regret, I was supposed, this was when he only had like 20, 30,000 subscribers or something like that. Like, he had less than me at the time. So it was that long ago. He was doing a huge video for Ocarina of Time. This is a little bonus thing for everybody listening in the video.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing a big thing for Ocarina of Time, and he wanted help reaching out to all of these Zelda YouTube people. So we reached out to like HMK, Zelda Master, McIntyre Productions, and everybody. And I was supposed to be on the video with him. He sent me the script and everything, but at the time, I didn't just have, for various reasons, I didn't have the free time to do it. And I was just like, oh, it's okay, I'll just miss the video, I'll get on the next one. But then he did the video with all the other guests. It did really well, and then the next video did really well. Yeah,
he had a lot of guests on that video because there was like Zeltic, like there was almost all the Chamber of Sages group of people, and then like Zelda Universe and Zelda Dungeon, and he had a lot of people.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see like everyone that he ended up getting on it, but it did really well. Yeah. Now his YouTube channel, he went so popular so fast. Yeah,
popular enough for him to leave his day job. That's the dream, Jesse. That's the from my perspective, that's the dream.
All right. I think that's everything. So
all right,
again, Capt Bergerson.
Yes, that's me.
At GameOverJesse on Twitter. If you have anything in particular you would like us to discuss or questions you would like to have answered, again, patreon.com/GameOverJesse, or leave them in the comments below. Find us on Discord. Join. Let us know what you think. And leave those very, very nice reviews and comments on iTunes.
Yes. Have we gotten iTunes feedback?
I don't know. We only have the one thing up because I was kidnapped and taken to the moon.
Right.
Yeah, so a quick insight into next week, because this is just the end of it. So I don't really care if we get off script, because it'll just yeah, people can tune out if they want to, because all the important stuff's already done. But next week, I think it's next week, I want to do the Zelda Symphony thing, like discuss it, and
that's coming up too.
Yeah, go over everything, because I think it should be like within the next week or two for me, and then I don't know when it is for you.
On the 30th, I think they come to Vancouver. So
alright, so everyone can look forward to that, and thank you for watching or listening if you're on iTunes.
Thank you, everybody.
Alright.
The videos on this channel are funded by supporters on Patreon like you. If you're a fan of this channel and would like to join on videos, receive shoutouts, watch videos early, have your questions answered, or have your topic discussed on our podcast, please consider supporting on Patreon for these and many other rewards for just $1. Shoutouts for this video includes Link Use the Triforce, Rusty Caulfield, Lovable Christy, Give Time 15, Shadow to Us, Robbie Morgan, and Lunarium. I want to thank all of you for everything you have done to help support this channel.